What's up, people? Sorry I've not done video the past few days. I'm kind of busy between work and I was doing other stuff, so today, I'm gonna do what I usually don't do. Like today, I'm gonna do a video, but we're gonna do Rocky Balboa today. I watched it last night. I rewatched it just because I watched it on, I think it was Wednesday night I watched it, but I just felt like rewatching just to kind of freshen up for the review today. We'll do Creed 1 tomorrow. I'm going to watch it tonight and I'll review it tomorrow morning. And then we'll review Creed 2 on Sunday. It'll probably be like the same time tonight. Like I'll probably do it like around 6-ish or so. But other than that, rewatching Rocky Balboa. This is the 6th one in like some people's eyes, people who don't like the Creed movies, this is the end. And it does work as an ending for Rocky's story either way. But I like the Creed films. I'll talk about, there's one aspect I don't like, especially the more I think about it, which I'll mention in my review tomorrow. But other than that, I really enjoyed this film. I think, and like I said, I'm one who didn't hate Rocky 5. There were some okay ideas, but it had some weirdness. So they were like, okay, we're going to do a more traditional Rocky film. And I think it did what Rocky 5 was trying to do in some ways, besides, like, the manager thing. Like, it was going for, like, that finality. It was trying to bring it back to, like, that original kind of tone. I mean, even in a way, like, the ending. Like, the ending, obviously, besides... The ending was pretty much the same, slightly, like the Rocky 1 ending, where he loses, but it was for a different thing. So, in a way, it works. But the only aspect I don't really like is the main guy, Mason Dixon. He's kind of boring. He just doesn't do it for me. And I'll admit, to be fair to him, I'm comparing him to fucking Drago, Clubber Lang, Apollo. Like, it's like it's just those three hitters right there. And it's just like, yeah, but I think he wasn't supposed to be, like, a true antagonist. He kind of was, but they were making him more... He was trying to have something to prove, and then they both had something to prove. I like the stuff with his son. I think his son's played by Casey Affleck. I could be fucking wrong. Milo... Milo... I've seen him in other movies. I cannot say his last name, but I've seen him in other stuff. He was decent as Robert. He still kind of had a bit of carryover from Rocky 5 with that. He's tied to his father eternally, and when he feels like he's just Rocky's son, and then like you have that. But this film had one of my favorite speeches. There's two scenes where he gives really good speeches. The one where he's trying to get verified or like a boxing license, and then the one where he's giving to his son. That's the one I'm talking about. That speech is fucking... It's just because you can literally apply that to anything. And it's just all around, I think this is a good film. It's not on par with, like, those first four, but I still really like it, so. And, this film came out in about, 2006, so. Yeah. So, I guess we'll get started here. Shit. Anyway, the film kicks off. We kind of it's 2006. The first thing they mention is that Adrian died, which because she died of cancer in the story. It was 2002, so she died a few years before this film. So Rocky's now in his 50s. He's retired from boxing. We kind of get a really good scene between him and they brought Paulie back, which was cool. So that's the other aspect. Because I hadn't watched this film in years. I did not remember they brought, Tony back, who was Apollo's trainer. I didn't remember Paulie being in this movie. I'll be honest. I really, for a second, thought it was just Rocky. I thought he was like the only one left, but that was kind of cool. So you had some leftover characters. So he's in his 50s. We kind of see he owns a store. He owns a restaurant. where he kind of tells his stories, boxing stories to people. One night, I think, after he kind of gets into a fight with Paulie, because Paulie's basically, he owns the meat he works at that meat business. So, like, I like how they do tie everything together. While this is happening, we have Mason Dixon, who he's being shit on by the media because he is seen as just he's just a guy who gets knockouts. He's not seen as a person who's put up tough fights. Like, he's just seen as a guy who knocks people out and has not been in, like, a real fight where he has to, like, you see his actual heart. So they, were calling him that. So that's kind of, like, what's going on in the background. Rocky meets, meets again, what's her name? Marie, who you might remember. There's a scene in the first film where he stops a little girl from smoking cigarettes and takes her home. That's her. So they meet up with each other again, and she works at, like, this this bar. After getting back to Paulie, Paulie is kind of tired of, because they're doing the song and dance, talking about where, him and Rocky and Adrian were. He's just kind of, I think it's because and you know what it is too, he's projecting a bit, because Paulie acknowledges, like, I kind of treated her bad, because in the films, yeah, he kind of does not treat her great at times. You can tell he loves her, though, like, but it is one of those things, when they're gone, then you really think, like, man, so I really think this film is really good in that aspect. So he meets up with Marie, he walks her home, gets into, like, he beats up, like, this drunk dude who's trying to start some shit. Then she takes him home. He meets her stepson named Steps, and throughout the film, he and her have a nice friendship, kind of growing. He's even, like, taking care of her son and stuff like that. He even has, like, a dog, because Steps, he's like a teenager, of course, having the basic teenager problems, like hanging out with, like, the wrong crowd. So, while this is happening in the professional boxing circuit, there's I like the use of the media, like the sports media, because even at the time I was a kid, even though I didn't really watch sports like my dad did, so, like, I often would see ESPN on all the time. So, and especially because this was 2006, so I definitely remember just seeing ESPN all the time. And they got, like, the actual people. They did, like, this virtual boxing thing where, Mason Dixon, everyone's watching. They're comparing Mason Dixon to Rocky and who's a stronger champion. Everyone pretty much unanimously says Rocky. Then in the simulation, Rocky beats him, and then basically this starting a then he starts going back to, like, he's getting frustrated. Now they want to set up, like, a charity fight, like, not a real, like an exhibition. So he can, like, Mason wants to prove he can hang, and then Rocky slowly wants to start getting back into fighting. And, initially, like, a lot of people were like, no, you're too old. And then there's another scene where, after, because he hires Marie to be his, like, I think host or hostess for his restaurant. He takes her home. She even says, maybe you should do it. Like, you're a fighter, and this is because at the scene before, he gets hired by Mason's manager. Basically, they offer him the fight, and it's gonna be like a charity fight and all that. And Rocky thinks about it, and because he actually wants to get back into it. He just wants to, And I like that. It's almost like the opposite of the first one. Rocky's a young boxer in that one, where they're doing the retired boxer angle. And then the fight set up. And obviously the media is going to have Rocky is too old. He's going to get destroyed. And then there's a scene with him and his son, who the son doesn't want him to do it. Because he feels like, you're going to embarrass the family. Because he feels like, obviously, his son thinks he's going to lose. And then this is where we get that amazing... I should mention before. Rocky has to get his license from forgot what the group was called, but we get this really good scene of Rocky like saying, "No, you don't get to tell me what I can't do," because they said he he passed everything, but they feel like in good conscience they can't allow it, and then Rocky goes off, and it's a really good scene. Stallone is a great actor, man, and it's still kind of this is just a side note, really quick. You have Sylvester Stallone, and like especially it's just this has been kind of bothering me because I've been rewatching the Rocky movies lately. Stallone is actually an amazing actor. You know, his voice can be memed at times, but he's an amazing actor, and especially in this movie. And you bring him to a DC movie. I don't even think King Shark was like the right role for him anyway. But anyway, that's a side point. You bring him in just to have one gag. That's a side note. That's just been bothering me. It's been bothering me when I first watched the movie, but definitely now, especially because I've been rewatching the Rocky movies. It's like, but now back to the movie. So that was a really good scene. Then we get a scene of his son, like trying to talk him out of the fight, and Rocky gives this really good speech about life is a bunch of punches, because Rocky's basically saying like you're just mad, because his son admits like his life isn't that great, he was only hired because of his last name, and then Rocky tells him like you're gonna have to take the hits, and life's like life is punches. You're gonna have to take the hits. Now you gotta hit back. It's such. I can't do the exact speech, but just look up it's just you could apply that to anything, and the way he delivered that. And then the part where he's like, "That's what a coward does," and you're blah. That's what a coward does, and that's not you. When he said that, it's like, oh man. So his son obviously co-signs after that. We get like the training scene, and I like that they did like a traditional. It was. I think probably someone else did the music, but I like that they did the actual old school Rocky music. He does the running to the steps while Mason's doing he's doing the traditional training, because you even get this cool scene where Tony gives what Rocky can do, and he's basically saying you got to be a heavy hitter because you don't have that speed no more because of your age, and I like that. Just all around the motivation stuff. That's why the Rocky movies to me are great. Just in that, it's the if you want to talk about a film the films that show the human spirit, I say these films. They show that in spades. Not even just with Rocky, with Adrian, the other characters and stuff. It just so we get the training, pretty good training montage, and then we get to the fight. They have one little weigh in, and then Mason warns if you try to hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you back. Then we get the fight, and the fight itself was actually pretty good. My main issue with Mason is just he's kind of just there. He feels like he's just and I get it, it's modern day, so they were trying to make him like a modern boxer, and that's what they were going for. So, I get what they were going for, and it was cool that they had a quick Mike Tyson cameo. That was awesome, just to say Mike Tyson's been in a Rocky movie. But I just think maybe he needed more. And maybe they felt like we don't want to make him an over-the-top bad guy. They were like, he's just and I get what they were going for, so maybe that's why he didn't have it. And then, like I said, you're comparing, and I'm comparing him to characters like Apollo, Drago, Clubber, so it's not fair in that sense. So the fight itself was really good. I like the switch, and I like that they used the actual, because it was in Las Vegas, they made this look like you had the actual commentators, the announcers. You had Michael Buffer there. That was pretty cool. It felt like an actual boxing event. I think they did a good job of doing it, because it's 2006, so they figured let's make it look like, because don't get me wrong, the other films were in the 80s and 70s/80s, so it's understandable in the newer one they're gonna make it let's make it actually look like an actual boxing event. Even the way it's shot, It doesn't feel like, I mean, some of the scenes in the ring, you could tell, are, I mean, obviously the whole thing's a movie scene, but like, some of it actually feels like an actual boxing event recorded at the event. So I think they did a good job of doing that. The fight itself was pretty good. You know, I like how they alternated, you know, Mason was starting off pretty well, and then Rocky just fucking, because he could take damage, and that's like the thing that always carried over in his fights, the amount of damage he could take. And even at 50, the fight was great. It was very back and forth, and it ends in split decision. It was like, and they gave it to Mason, but it wasn't about that. It was more about Rocky showing he can go still. So it was like that callback to the first one when Rocky really did win, if we're being honest. But I like that it wasn't about that. I think that was one thing when I watched it when I was younger. I was like, why didn't Rocky win? Like, but it makes sense. Thematically, it makes sense too. And in a way, he did win. Like, even when he was walking to the ramp, no one cared that Mason won by decision. They were all focusing on Rocky. He was waving to the crowd. It was a fun, awesome way to end the film. The fight itself was really good. Obviously not as great compared to the other fights of the other films, but it definitely was good. And all around, this film is great. I think it was a nice way to come back. Like I said, I didn't hate Rocky 5, but I think for the fans' sake, it was a nice way to bring it back. This is a good way to send it off for Rocky's character now going into the Creed films, which I liked. I really loved Creed 1. Yeah, I guess I'll just spoil what I didn't like. I didn't like the whole illegitimate son thing, but I get it. Only because they had to obviously have a way for him to exist. But it does kind of... I never thought of it like that, but it does kind of make Apollo look bad. Especially because in the movies, they make it seem like he's really loyal to his wife, you know? So, it sucks, but... Besides that, you just get rid of that. Stallone's performance, man. Because I think he got nominated for, I don't remember the exact position, but whatever it was, he deserved it. He was fucking awesome in that film. You know, him being in the Mickey role. And it mostly honors the franchise. You know, you take that one element out of it, it honors the franchise. This is one of the examples I bring up. Like Karate, like Cobra Kai. This is how you bring a franchise back. And I think Rocky Balboa, going back to this one, is a good way to end Rocky's story. The fight itself was pretty good. And I think it's just an all-around great story. It was awesome having, you know, a lot of the old characters back and bringing in some new ones. It was a nice mix. I definitely recommend this. Even if you don't want to watch the Creed movies, this movie can work as, like, if you want, just watch these 6 movies and you're good. If you don't want to watch the Creed ones. So, other than that, I'm going to talk about something really quick. Y'all know I don't like LeBron James. I even say fuck bitch James every video. But recently, or like, it was yesterday I think, tweeted about, and I usually don't like going into politics, but I can't not say something. This motherfucker was trying to mock Kyle Rittenhouse, and I'm not going to go into my thoughts about it. I'm just not, because YouTube is not going to like it. So, not going to go into it too much, but he was trying to mock, little bitch James trying to mock somebody for crying, even though he's one of the biggest crybabies of all fucking time. Fuck this motherfucker, dude. This phony piece of shit. You know what? LeBron, why don't you say something about kids in the inner city? No, you can't say something about that. Or you know, China. You can't say shit about that, but you're gonna attack this kid. Fuck off. Fuck you, LeBron. But other than that, I'm gonna take one more hit. Fuck Disney. Fuck Warner Brothers. Fuck LaBitch James. Fuck Colin Kaepernick. Fuck Kevin Smith. And of course, fuck Joe Biden. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow with my Creed review. Peace!